Hello, everybody. So, my viewers by now definitely understand that I am very much of the for fun mentality, and I try not to take games too seriously just because I personally enjoy them as a way to relax and get away from the struggles of life for a little while. It's also my coping mechanism because I know I'm pretty bad at online games in general. You guys already know that I am all about fun above all else, and for some people, fun means winning every game and honing their skills to be the absolute best that they can be. Usually, this means competitive play, where they're playing with and against players who share the same mentality as they do. This is why many games have ranked queues, and games that don't have built-in ranked modes or pro servers usually have some sort of community-created space for those highly competitive players to compete. I myself am nowhere near being a competitive player. I simply lack the skills and confidence to be in that space, but we'll talk about the mindset in a little bit. However, I can really appreciate watching competitive players do what they do. I thoroughly enjoy watching Dead by Daylight competitions such as the DBD League, and a personal favorite tournament that I really enjoyed watching was when Hens created a competition between different regions. It was so interesting how every region has a different mindset on the game and values different aspects of balance. Difference of opinions can lead to some of the most interesting discussions, as long as things are kept civil, of course, and I feel like games like Forsaken are no different. While the different regions don't seem to have drastically different opinions on balance, high-level Forsaken is still extremely fun to watch. I find a lot of joy and fascination watching good players just be good at the game. I think competitive players really get a bad rep, because while, yes, there are definitely some bad eggs that bully and ego on players that they know are worse than they are, and who seem to struggle with a little bit of a superiority complex, there are also those who are more level-headed, kind, and willing to help the little guys like me. I've been fortunate to meet players that are more on the side of the latter. They know that they're good, and they are confident, but that's their right and they earned that mentality. I think people mistake confidence for toxicity a lot of the time, or just assume that someone is arrogant because they know that they're a better player. I think people also apply the title of comp to anyone that has an ego or a bad attitude. So there's just already a negative association with the phrase when that's not really the case at all. Competitive players, truly competitive players, seem to prefer to surround themselves with like-minded individuals, such as playing in tournaments or scrimming with other players on their level. After all, there's nothing to be gained or learned by pub stomping. This isn't all players, of course. Since I'm not really part of that world, I can't and won't speak for them. But it seems like the people that want to just go in and pub stomp on casual players without actually trying to compete against other good players are just kind of fake. It's a common issue in most, if not all, online games, I'd say. There are definitely some bullies who just want to wreck casual players for fun, the little Timmies of the world, so to speak, who just want to go on a little bit of a power trip by making other people feel bad. I feel like if you put those kinds of people into a really highly competitive environment, they'd fully break apart. But again, what do I know? Also, we really need to stop shaming people who are simply good at the game. Competitive players should not be looked down on just because they're competitive. Someone has a high playtime? Good for them that they found something that they enjoy. We don't need to insult or belittle them just because they're better than us. And we don't need to bring them down just because they've sunk a lot of time and energy into a game, especially if they haven't done anything to you except best you in a video game. Anyways, I'm going to try and avoid talking about things I know nothing about, so I'm moving on from that. Kind of straying away from the comp scene for a second, I really just love watching people who specialize in a specific character do what they do. All the way back in my Overwatch days, I liked watching Spirit play Reaper because that was a character I very much enjoyed in my time with the game. On Dead by Daylight, I really enjoyed watching Coco Latte streams and content because I was really into playing the Singularity. On Forsaken, I really like watching players like Militon. I totally mispronounced that name. I'm so incredibly sorry. But I like watching him play John Doe because they're just so damn good at what they do. There's just something really cool about watching people who are really good at a character be good. I don't think people really appreciate character specialists enough because I have a lot of admiration for people who dedicate their time and energy to mastering a character to that level. I'm also happy to get my ass beat by them in game because, again, it feels like I get to watch and experience firsthand what they're fully capable of. Yeah, I know some people may think that's strange because, duh, you're probably going to lose and losing feels bad. But instead of focusing on the loss, it's much more fun and positive to think of it as witnessing something really cool for yourself. Maybe it's simply my lower self esteem showing here, but I prefer to think of it as something positive rather than negative. And again, I just love watching people be good at their characters. I think people should watch character specialists because if we think of it in a way that they have already touched the skill ceiling of the character, we can learn a lot from them. Sometimes we have to watch what they do and try to understand why they do things in a certain way and apply that to our own gameplay. You may never reach number one on the competitive leaderboard. For most, that's just an unrealistic goal to have. But you can still apply what you're seeing and learning to your own games. For example, I may not have interest in playing competitive Forsaken, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to be a better player in general. Anyone who's stuck around my community for any length of time knows I absolutely love John Doe and play the hell out of that character. I may never be a pro, and I don't have any interest in being one, but that doesn't mean I don't want to improve. In my Discord server, we've started doing something that we lovingly call John Doe Boot Camp, where we just go into a private server and I just get my ass beat over and over and over and over. It's all friendly, and for the most part, we're all friends there, but some of the people in my server are ridiculously good at the game, and I made it my goal to keep doing these training sessions, kind of, until I force myself to be better. Sometimes this means consulting outside help, because I can only learn so much on my own. If I'm really struggling with a specific character, for example, I've reached out to people who have experience with coaching for advice. Then take that advice into my next gaming session, and honestly, it's kind of worked. After a few days, I could definitely see some clear improvements, from getting no kills to getting some kills and then some wins here and there. Some days are harder depending on the players that join in, but this brings me to a point that I made in my killer anxiety video. Take your small wins. It's not always about winning the whole round. Sometimes you just have to be proud of what you did accomplish. Taking things as baby steps is such an important part of improving as a player. You have to take things in stride. Right now, I'm happy that I'm able to somewhat hold my own against these players because they are tough to beat. And pushing myself into difficult situations for the sake of improving my own skills feels like a step in the right direction. To quote the ever philosophical Doomfist, only through conflict do we evolve. Sometimes the best way to reach a better end is to struggle and scrape our way to victory. I'm not saying that trial by fire works for everybody, but it certainly feels like it's working for me, at least for the time being. I definitely think you have to have the right mindset for it, because if you are very easily tilted and frustrated, then maybe putting yourself into situations where you will likely lose is probably not the best idea. I think you really have to have the mentality of, I know I'm probably going to lose, but I really want to be better and I'm trying my best to get there. The more frustrated you become and the more angry you get, the less you will actually end up learning. I also think it's important to note that I won't do this if I'm already having a bad day, if I'm super tired and already know I won't be playing at my best. There's no point in crushing my confidence if I'm already not in the best state physically or mentally. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, but also don't feel like you need to force yourself to do so. If you are content with where you are, no one can take that enjoyment from you, whether you are a casual like me, or someone who wants to grind stats, rack up those wins, and be the absolute best you could be. Gaming is inclusive for people of all mentalities, skill levels, ages, genders, you name it. What works for me may not work for you, and that's perfectly okay. I may be doing this all wrong if there's truly a wrong way to improve, but ultimately it doesn't matter because I'm having fun and I feel a sense of fulfillment. Plus, my community has a great time, and I know they do because they ask me every day if I'm ready for my training sessions. So it's been a fun way to practice, but also to bring my community more together. So really, it's a win-win. Anyways, I know this was kind of a shorter one. I just wanted to ramble a little bit, so Thank you for tuning into another one of my ramble sessions. I hope you guys enjoyed and took something out of this, or just thank you if you stuck around at all. I really appreciate any and all support, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.